back to the block, go ahead and grab it. We're gonna start with a basic kind of like outer hip piriformis IT band stretch. So you're gonna cross your right leg in front of your left, and you're gonna fold forward, keeping both heels down. Bend your right knee, keep your left leg straight. If you have a tendency to hyperextend, you can put a slight bend in the knee. Then walk your hands to the right, and you can put your hands on a block like so. If you have longer arms, you're a little more bendy, feel free to just keep your hands on the floor and don't worry about the block. Feel like the left hip draws back a little bit, both heels are rooted. And we're gonna see if you can maybe even feel like the chest reaches out a little more to the right. Stay here for another breath. And come on back to the center. Hands in front of you, switch the crossing of the legs. So the left leg is now in front. Bend the knee, keeping the heel down, your right leg straight. Walk your hands to the left, draw your right hip back slightly. See if you can feel like your chest kind of reaches forward, both heels stay down, and just slow your breathing pattern. As tempting as it is to lift the left heel up, try to keep it grounded and don't worry about how deep the left leg bends. And then bring your hands back to the center, release your feet, and stand on up. So from here, you're gonna just take your hands to your hips, lift your left knee as high as you can, and bend into the right knee. So it's basically kind of like a one-legged chair or a one-legged squat position. You're just gonna breathe here. If you feel like you need more, you can straighten your left leg out. I'm gonna say for right now, just keep the left knee bent and lifting up. We're just gonna work a little bit of stability in the knee and hip. If you can bend a little deeper, awesome. Try to keep good posture with your torso. Stay a little bit longer, and then stand up. Set your left foot down, feet about hip width apart. Lift your right knee up towards your chest without using your hands. Bend into your left knee. As you find a nice bend, keep your chest up. Notice for me, the knee's a little wobbly. It makes me engage my glutes and outer hip a little more and just work on stability and balance on one leg. Keep the chest up so you're not rounding the back. Keep the right leg lifting. Slow your breathing. If you tend to breathe a little fast or hold your breath, really try to just find a fluid pace as you're breathing. One more breath and stand up. Now from here, we'll stand on the left leg again. Lift your right leg up. Keep your hands on your hips. And then you're just going to externally rotate your leg as much as you can without using your hands. And bring the knee back. Externally rotate. Bring the knee back. 3 more times. Open and back. Open and back. 1 more time. And then set it down. Lift your left knee up nice and high. Hands on the hips. On your exhale, externally rotate. Lift the heel high. Back to the center. Rotate and back. Rotate and back. You got 2 more times. External to neutral. External to neutral. Set your foot down. Turn to face the front of your mat. Keep your right foot at the front of the mat. Take your left leg back and set your knee down. So you're basically in a low lunge. Then we're going to do a modified active pigeon stretch again just to get into that outer hip and glute a little bit. So heel toe your right foot over to the left so that your right foot and your left knee line up with each other. Have the foot a little bit in front of the knee, or the heel rather in front of the knee. And then on your exhale, just open your knee towards the floor. On your inhale, come back up to the center. Exhale, open. Inhale to the center, and you're going to do it 3 more times. Open up and back. Open up and back. 1 more time, open up and come back.
Right,
and take your right knee back in line with your left one.
Okay.
Step your left foot forward and heel toe the foot over so that your right knee and your left foot line up with each other. You can notice that the heel is in front of the knee, not below.
I would say bye, I'm in the middle of the
on your
video.
exhale, open your knee wide.
I love you.
Inhale, come back. Exhale, open and come back. Open up. Return to the center 2 more times. Open and back. Open up and come back. Now from here, just stand on up. Turn to the right, step your legs apart, We're gonna do a triangle pose. Whether or not you use a block, not important for this one. It's just to more fire up the legs and create a little bit of strength. So I practice heel to heel typically in my external poses. If you practice heel to arch, that's fine. Turn the back foot in to allow the hip to stick out a little bit. Have the legs as wide as you typically practice. Instead of putting the hand on the leg, just hang it to the inside. Now you can keep your left hand on your hip to turn the chest, or you can reach your left arm high. So without the hand touching, don't let it actually touch the leg at all. It makes you work the legs a lot more. Feel like the inner thighs lift, the feet press down, the right side waist is long. And if you're noticing this rounding in your torso, just lift your chest higher because you're not actually trying to touch anything. Take a couple more breaths here. Notice where the weight is in the right foot. Press through the ball of the foot so you're not tempted to lock out the knee. Keep the hip firm. And stand up. Turn your right foot in. Turn your left leg out. Root through the ball of the foot as you firm the left hip. Those are your counter actions in that left leg to create stability. Hinge at the hip. Keep the side waist long. Turn your shoulders. Hang your left arm down. And reach your right arm up or hand on the hip. So with the left side waist long, you are rotating the torso. The back leg, really reach it into the floor and then draw the heels towards each other so there's a lift in the inner thighs. Stay with it. Now, because of the position of my torso, my left leg wants to do a lot more work. It's just natural because the torso is kind of leaning out over it. Engage the right leg a little bit more and really feel like the legs work together to support your body weight instead of letting the weight tip forward over the left leg. And stay here for another breath or two, not too much longer. And then look down, take your hands down, set your knee down, lay down on your back. So on your back, reach your legs forward, lift your chest up, a little bit of belly work that I find engages the outer hips quite a bit. Legs as wide as your mat, pigeon toe your feet. Lift your right foot up, about a foot or so. Keep the feet pigeon toed and just hold. You'll feel it a lot in that outer hip, a little bit of a gripping sensation. Lower your right foot till it's close to the floor, keeping the feet pigeon-toed. Lift your left leg up. Toes turn in towards each other. The outer hip engages. Both feet close to the floor. Lift your chest a little bit higher. And then hug your knees into your chest and rock up to seated. So stand back up, give a little more work in the outer hip now, a little bit of midsection work. Take your feet nice and wide, take them underneath your hands, turn your right leg out and your left toes in, bend into your right leg, warrior two. So it won't be a very long hold, but hug the upper arm in and reach your arms real wide, press through the right heel, firm the hip back, and really get strong with the left leg. So this part is really important as a component for Ardha Chandrasana. So you want to kind of think of this as the back leg. So fire it up quite a bit to allow you to bend deeper in the right leg. And then pick your right heel up. Set it down, lift the front of the foot up. Set it down, straighten your leg. Take your hands to your hips, turn your right foot in. Turn your left leg out, turn the right toes in a little bit more. Bend into your left knee. Reach your arms wide. Put a big emphasis on the right leg, not the front leg bending too deep, but firm the hip and breathe. Draw the navel in slightly, find length in the side waist. Upper arm hugs in so the arms work just as much as the legs. And now lift the front heel up. Take a couple breaths. And then set it down, lift the front of the foot up. Set it down. Straighten your left leg, turn your foot in, grab your feet parallel. Fold forward with your hands under your shoulders. Just walk your hands over to your right leg, get a little hamstring stretch, a couple breaths. And then over to the left leg. the center. Inhale halfway, hands to your hips, and stand up. Step to the front of your mat, feet about hip width apart. We won't hold down dog, but we're going to take 2 rounds of Surya Namaskar A just to get a little movement in before our last prep pose. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, fold. Inhale halfway, step back to plank. You're more than welcome to just pull straight back to down dog. If you want a vinyasa, lower halfway. Roll over your toes, up dog, and pull your hips back. Instead of holding, look forward, bend the knees, step or hop to the front. Inhale halfway, and fold. Inhale all the way up. Hands to your heart. One more time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale halfway. Step back to plank. Shift forward, lower halfway down. Roll over your toes, upward facing dog. And pull back. Now from here, walk your hands back to your feet. Hold your elbows and just hang forward. Make a circle or 2 in each direction with the neck. And then slowly roll up. From here, come into a foot position a little wider than hip width apart, somewhere between warrior 2 distance and hip width. Turn your toes out, your heels in. Have the thumbs in the inseam of the leg, 4 fingers on the outside. Send your right shoulder forward. Use your right thumb. Lengthen the inner knee away from the groin so you get a little inner thigh groin stretch. Look past your right shoulder. Now come on back to the center, switch sides. Send your right shoulder forward, look past your left one. Use the thumb to kind of lengthen the inner thigh away from the groin and pelvis. Center and stand up. So, Ardha Chandrasana. I'm going to do it with a block. You don't typically practice with a block, don't do it. Here's the component parts. Firm the right hip as you press through the ball of the foot. Think triangle front leg. Right side waist long, just like warrior 2 and triangle in the torso position as the hip is firm. Think about the back leg in warrior 2 and triangle where you really reach to allow the front arm to be light. Let's see how it goes. So, turn your right leg out, look down. I'm going to say start with a slight bend in the knee. Take the right hand out and to the right a little bit. So think of the arm as kind of like a kickstand. And then lift your left leg up. Firm your right hip. Try not to press through the heel, but more through the ball of the right foot. You can have your left hand on your hip, or you can reach the arm up. So try to really reach through the left leg. And if you turn the left big toe down slightly, it'll help you to firm the right hip in a little easier. And then strong through the left leg, because if you think about it, you have 2 things balancing on your right leg. Your torso and your left leg. Those are the things moving in opposite directions. Typically, the torso weighs a lot more than the left leg. So that means you got to be a little stronger with the left leg so the weight isn't falling into the right arm. And as you fire up that left leg, maybe you come up onto one fingertip, or even hover the right hand above whatever it was sitting on. And then you're just going to be here for a couple more breaths. Keep the right side waist long, left leg real fired up. Set the hand down, slowly come down, and stand up. Second side, so just turn your left leg out. Make sure the foot tracks forward so the knee's not at risk. Look down, take that left hand forward and to the left a little bit, and then slowly come up to half moon. As you reach the right arm up, you can keep the hand on the hip to turn your chest. Firm your left hip back as you press through the ball of the foot, and as that right leg reaches, turn the big toe down a little bit to let the left hip hug in, and really fire up the right leg. So you want to reach through the right leg with the intention of getting lighter with the left arm, or at least the ability to do so. So really reach like you're pushing the wall behind you down. Keep the left hip hugging in, side waist long. Right arm strong instead of being too strong with the bottom hand. And then maybe 1 or 2 fingertips, or maybe the hand hovers all together. If If you feel the knee kind of wobble like mine is right now, think about the outer hip and glute working a little bit, kind of like that one-legged chair squat pose. Last few breaths, strong with the right leg, long with the left side waist. Take your hand down, slowly set your foot down, and stand up. Thank you for joining me for Half Moon Builder. This pose can be a little bit intimidating, so I hope that this class gave you a little better understanding and confidence in your Half Moon pose. I'll see you soon.